Hey, what's up guys? Tony and Jeff with Fun Intelligent Training. Today we're going to go over basic variations of the deadlift. This is something I realized people were getting kind of confused about in the training that we do here. So I just want to cover the different types so everyone's on the same page as far as when to use specific types of deadlifts and what they're used for. So the first one that we're going to go over is the conventional deadlift. This is used in general fitness training and also powerlifting. So Jeff's going to approach the bar. He's going to have it very close to his shins. And feet are about hip width apart, toes pointed roughly straight ahead. He's going to bend over at the waist, grabbing the bar. In traditional powerlifting, one hand over, one hand under. That's called a mixed grip. Helps you hold a little bit more weight. From here, he's going to sit his butt down till his shins touch. That's his starting position. He's going to drive through the heels, extending the hips and knees. Locking out the top in a fully standing position. Coming back down, he's going to bend at the waist, clearing the knees, then sit his butt back down. Give me like 2 more of those. Now this exercise, very good for developing the back, posterior chain, specifically the hamstrings, the glutes. Obviously your grip gets worked quite a bit holding onto the bar, and your upper back from holding the weight as well. Very efficient position, like I said, used for general fitness programming and very popular style for powerlifting. The next style we're going to go over is a sumo stance. Now this is not usually used in a situation other than powerlifting, or maybe if you have some kind of injury that prevents you from doing a traditional deadlift. So the sumo stance, Jeff's going to take a very, very wide stance, and I'm going to have him point his toes out. Now he's going to bring his hands in between the legs, and he's going to bring his chest up a little bit more and pull through the heels, fully extending the hips. Give me like 3 of those. Now the benefit to the sumo deadlift, shorter range of motion, so it helps you pull a little bit more weight, and it's a little bit more hip dominant because there's less flexion of the knee. You tend to recruit less quad. Someone like myself who has a very dominant quad, I don't pull as much in this position. Again, it's used mostly just for powerlifting, and the interesting thing about it is if you go to powerlifting competitions, you see a lot of guys using this style, pulling really big weight with it, and it translates really well to their squat because a lot of those guys squat very wide as well. However, some of the best deadlifters in the world, guys that are pulling 900 pounds, 950, 1,000 pounds, all those guys are traditional deadlifters. So which one's better? Really tough to say. Try them both, and depends on your application as well, but whatever's more comfortable for you, just go with that. Next, we're going to talk about the clean deadlift. This is used to prepare you for a clean. So Jeff's going to have a double overhand grip, and he's using a hook grip with that, which is where your fingers are wrapped around the thumb. Now notice that he starts in a much lower position, so his thighs approximately parallel to the floor, and as he comes up, he's going to keep those shoulders out over the bar until the final lockout position. So, the big difference between a clean deadlift and a traditional deadlift. With a clean deadlift, the shoulder stays out over the bar. Traditional deadlift, the shoulders are kind of behind the bar and you're pulling back. So this tends to be a little bit more quad dominant because you do start in a lower position, and you have to use a double overhand grip because it's preparation for the clean, which eventually you would rack on the shoulder. So if you're using a mixed grip, you couldn't reach that position. The final deadlift that we're going to talk about today is the snatch grip deadlift. Again, this is in preparation for the snatch lift. So Jeff's going to get a very wide grip, double overhand with the hook. Notice he's pushing his knees out as far as he can, right into his arms. Same thing with the position at the bottom. Thighs are approximately parallel to the floor, shoulders out over the bar, and he stays in that good over the bar position all the way through the pull to the final extension, which if he was doing a full snatch, he would accelerate the last moment and bring that bar overhead. This grip is very challenging for a beginner. Due to the wider hand placement, it's very difficult to get a good bite on that bar, so it tends to be a little bit harder on the hands. You're going to feel it more in your traps because, again, you're in a compromised position, if you will. This is really good to build up strength for the snatch lift, but if you don't plan on snatching, not a whole lot of application for that. So those are 4 basic deadlift variations that we use a lot with our clients here at Fun Intelligent Training in the Danny Boys program. And these are things that you can use in your own training. Now, one last thing I want to talk to you about is footwear. Traditionally, in powerlifting or general fitness training, you would want to do your deadlifting either barefoot or in something that is very flat and has a good surface for you to stand on. Very common in powerlifting is the Chuck Taylor because it has a nice flat bottom, it's a stable shoe, it's got some good support, and it's really good for deadlifting. If you're practicing the clean and the snatch and doing the clean and snatch deadlift, you want to wear shoes like this, which have an elevated heel. That gives you a little bit more range of motion in your squatting positions. Not ideal for traditional deadlifting because the lower you are to the floor, the more you'll be able to pull. So if you're going strictly for a traditional deadlift, barefoot or something like a Chuck Taylor, if you're training more for Olympic style lifting, you want a shoe like this. Jeff's wearing a Risto, something with a raised heel, nice firm surface. I'm Tony with Fun Intelligent Training, and remember, train like your life depends on it.